Well, that was certainly one headline I was not expected to see. Now it's to be Michael Gove, the general, who's now telling orders, giving orders, and telling people what to do and what not to do. For those who are unaware, apparently a headline came out early today about Michael Gove telling people, not to actually march alongside extremists, as they call it. So I've got a couple of things I need to actually just straight up level right now, ladies and gentlemen. This story actually comes from the Times newspaper, and they claim apparently is that they use the word to subvert democracy. The idea thinking that through actually protesting, actually abiding by constitutional rights and, freedom of speech and everything else, that is apparently in some way subverting democracy. But the irony is, for Michael Gove telling people not to protest, isn't Michael Gove not subverting democracy in some way by telling people what to do and what not to do? As though Michael Gove has the authority or the actual power to now start deciding what's right or wrong. Seems a little bit of an abuse of his power, don't you think? From somebody who was, what is he now, like the leveling up secretary to now the communities secretary? I don't understand what these titles are, and I don't understand what relevance they have, because, to be honest, what relevancy does Michael Gove have now to suggest that he knows the difference between right and wrong, and what we can do and what can't do? It boggles that, okay, a couple of days ago, I'll go one further. A couple of days ago, Michael Gove apparently was under investigation by a parliamentary watchdog over the fact that he did not disclose that he went to a football match. He paid to go to a football match, and me and my dad were driving home that night, and we talked a little bit about it and saying that it literally doesn't mean anything, and it's so like whimsy and small that people will just like forget about it. But less than a week later, we are now hearing stories about, again, Michael Gove now telling people what to do and what not to do. So we're meant to be taking advice from somebody who is openly just deciding to forget or not declare, perhaps maybe out of malice, something that he should have done. And now somebody who didn't take responsibility for that. It might have been accidental perhaps, but unfortunately it still happened. And now he's the one who's directing orders, despite the fact that Michael Gove is not the Home Secretary, Michael Gove is not the police, and who exactly is going to be convinced by Michael Gove? Especially again when they use phrases like to subvert democracy. And like, well, again, what makes Michael Gove, or anyone for the government for that matter, think that actually that they're going to be their word is going to be taken as God, and that means people are going to stop protesting or marching alongside who they decide to protest? And they are worried about democracy. Why? Why are they worried about why are they bringing democracy into it if people are practicing it? And well, what planet are they living on then? When they say stuff like, okay, let me try and broaden the subject just a little bit. What exactly is the point of a politician? A representative, a somewhat powerful representative of communities whose political agendas of on certain things like agriculture, transport, communications, poverty, money, wealth distribution. Somebody who is elected from a collective community who is meant to represent the community on a specific political agenda, and that they can have the power to introduce or propose laws, make changes so that economic affairs are in order. Somebody who takes accountability and responsibility for the community that they represent as their local representative or MP, and that they hold their position and could even advance in what they do because they're bona fides, they are buen chico, so that people earn their trust and respect because they are exactly what a community represents. So let me tell you, so why exactly, again, we are taking advice from somebody who doesn't take responsibility for the fact that he should have declared something that he knows absolutely he should. He also belongs to a party that, over the last number of years, the PR for the Conservatives has literally gone so far down the drain because the Conservatives, all the way back from David Cameron, from the introduction of austerity with his mate George Osborne, to the referendum, to the fact that Theresa May is now basically standing down. And bear in mind, Theresa May was also the Prime Minister who would gladly not show up for actual political debates when she held the snap general election, the one that she said that she would not held. And you know what? Say what you may that Jeremy Corbyn lost that. You know what? At least he showed up. At least he had the actual bottle to actually face people. What did Theresa May did? Run away and hide like an absolute coward. And people still voted for her. Well, I've said it before, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it again. The public wants what the public gets. If that's your idea of a leader, then go right ahead. If that suits you down to the ground, fine by me. But don't come crying to me when you're saying, you know what, they act like a coward and they've got no backbone whatsoever, considering the fact the position they are in. Why do they even bother getting involved in politics in the first place? And then we have Boris Johnson, who just gambled and gambled and gambled. And the fact that, again, I don't know if Michael Gove was ever invited to any of these COVID parties, as they were. But, well, he certainly seemed awfully quiet during this period anyway. And let's, again, examine the amount of failures in Johnson's cabinet. Dominic Cummings, Chris Pincher, goodness knows, Priti Patel. And then we also, by the time Johnson came to an end, Liz Truss, who took no accountability or responsibility, neither did anybody in her cabinet for that matter, and she was gone in less time than Lord Douglas Hume from the early 1960s. And now we have Rishi Sunak, who, Suella Braverman, gone, Nidhi Sahari, gone, Sajid Javid, gone, Michael Gove now suddenly thinks he has the authority to tell people what to do and what not to do, could possibly be the next to go. Basically, what I'm trying to suggest is that your supposed elective representatives are not particularly very good at what they do because they have no idea what the public actually wants. They have no interest in listening to what the public actually wants. They're more interested on, going on GB News and blowing smoke up their arse than actually facing anything that they've done. And then, of course, there's Jeremy Hunt, and his budget leaves incredibly a lot to be desired. You could even say there were probably some pages missing out of the budget. Things that, again, people should be more aware of. But no, a 2p reduction on national insurance, yeah, that's going to make all the difference. But it's with recent events like this are the things that are going to make the real difference. They talk about subverting democracy, like giveaway. And, well, that's just about, that's the sort, that is a testament to the sort of mess that we are actually in. Never mind the fact that another thing the Conservatives love to do is to use their business rifles, like the Daily Mail or the Daily Express, to print stories that Brexit is worth billions and is a great British success story. Even though this great British success story is only successful in the hands of roughly less than 10 people, who probably earn more in 1 week than I will probably earn in a single year. Bear these things in mind, ladies and gentlemen, because, well, it begs the question, if you're not going to actually listen to the politicians, then why are they even in office?